Recording in progress. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, here we go. Are we ready for this? Okay, cool. All right. Well, I am so honored that you guys are all here. And you can follow along on the screen, or you can just listen to my voice. So if you are out walking or you are just chiming in, you are just joining us. Gut health, brain health is the topic of the day. And I'm going to be going over a presentation that I created, and you guys are going to be writing out your questions on your notepads or in the chat section, and we will go over them at the end. So welcome to a fascinating discussion on gut health, brain health, and the very unique community that lives inside your digestive system called the microbiome. The father of medicine, Hippocrates, said thousands of years ago, all disease starts in the gut. And this is still true today. The most crucial system of your body is the digestive system. There are always new food trends popping up like kombucha and sauerkraut. So let's shed some light on why. So a little definition time, guys. This is going to be a lot of science. A microbiome is a community of microorganisms that can usually be found living together in any given habitat. The microbiome consists of microbes that are both helpful and potentially harmful. Most are symbiotic, and symbiotic means where both the human body and the microbiota benefit. And some, in smaller numbers, are pathogenic, promoting disease. In a healthy body, pathogenic and symbiotic microbiota coexist without problems. So just kind of side note, my adventure, I'll call it, with gut health started after my second son was born, and I was having a lot of brain fog, and I had postpartum depression. And I went to the doctor, and they diagnosed me with something called an overgrowth of candida. So if you guys have heard of candida, it is one of the bacteria that lives in your gut. And for me, learning that there was an overgrowth, I went, what the heck does this mean? Like, what does it mean to have an overgrowth of candida? And so from that point, I kind of dove into why I needed to take probiotics and where there was this dysfunction in my body. And this was, McCoy just turned 7. So, 7 years ago is when I really started diving into this. And now that I'm at the naturopath school, I'm just learning so much that I'm excited to share with you guys. So, all right, so moving on, let's take a look at the different microbiomes that live in the body. So if you can see my screen, you can see the picture. If you can't, I'll just tell you a few. You have an oral microbiome, which is in your mouth. So in your mouth, you have a whole community that lives there. And your gut, that's what we're going to talk about a lot today. You have a microbiome. And you can see where it says gut, some things that can go wrong if your gut microbiome is not, doesn't have the correct amount of healthy bacteria and unhealthy bacteria. So inflammatory bowels, psychiatric disorders, which really, guys, ties into gut health, brain health, obesity, diabetes, those kinds of things. If you're pregnant or ever have been pregnant, there's a whole microbiome in your placenta. A skin microbiome. So if you're somebody that suffers from acne, psoriasis, skin cancer, allergies, there could be some sort of something happening in your skin microbiome that needs to be balanced. And then a vagina microbiome, which is its own community in itself. So scrolling down, the human microbiome is composed of communities of bacteria. We talked about that. Large-scale metagenetic projects have reported 3.3 million unique protein encoding genes, as compared with the entire human genome, which has 23,000 genes. So if you look at that comparison, how important this microbiome business is, 3.3 million versus 23 million, which is the whole human genome. These studies have described the beneficial functions of the normal gut microbiota down to the genetic level. The human microbiome has extensive functions such as immunity, defense against pathogens, host nutrition, including production of short chain fatty acids, important in host energy metabolism, synthesis of vitamins, fat storage, so on and so forth. So we already know right out of the gate how important this is, right? This next section talks about how our microbiome starts from our very earliest development. Environmental factors such as diet, use of antibiotics, right? Everything you hear about in the news. Our parents probably didn't know any better. We didn't know any better. The doctors told us to take antibiotics, way back in the day. And now we're starting to learn that antibiotics aren't always such a good idea to take all the time. We don't need to be taking them all the time. And what's happening is these antibiotics are changing the microbiome of our gut. And so the most dramatic changes in composition occur in infancy and early childhood. The intestinal microbiome of an infant is affected by gestational age, mode of delivery, type of food, breast milk or formula, maternal nutrition, and use of antibiotics. The complexity and plasticity of the infant microbiota during this early life development is believed to be important in maintaining homeostasis with the host immune system. Okay, so that's sort of complicated and a lot of big words, but here's what you need to know about that. The body always wants to get back to a state of homeostasis. The body always wants to be healthy. So it's always going to try, and it's always going to pull minerals and enzymes and shift in order to get to that state of health, starting from infancy. So this picture that's in front of you, if you can see it, the simplest way I can break this down to you, if you look at number 1, it says protection against pathogens, and it's got what looks like a Lego and a star. Here's what that means to me, and here's what that could mean to you. All of the cells in your body, all of the organs in your body have this protective wall, right? And there's a bouncer that says, okay, you can get in, or nope, I'm not letting you in. And when your microbiome and when your gut is unhealthy, when your gut isn't balanced, what do you think happens to the bouncer? Things get in that shouldn't get in, right? The bouncer gets weak. And so we have to build up that gut wall. We have to build up that outer layer of our cells. So we have these healthier cells and these healthier systems so that the bouncers can do their job. Does that make sense? Okay, so then it kind of goes into some other things the gut does. You can see right here, I'm circling the stomach. The stomach goes into, here we're going to go back to anatomy, guys. The stomach goes into the small intestine, right? And then that connects to the large intestine, the ascending, the transverse colon, the descending colon, and then the anus that comes out of the body, right? And everything that happens in that system is immunity, is protection against pathogens, our protein synthesis, our fat storage. So much happens in this system. This could be a whole lecture in itself, but this picture right here, I'm a visual person, and so I just wanted you guys to see that. Okay, I'm just going to read a couple of these to you, some wow facts that I found from a book. You have 3 pounds of microbes living in your digestive system. Isn't that insane? 3 pounds of microbes living in your digestive system. Let's see. 100 trillion number of bacteria in your body. About 80% of them live in your gut. 100 trillion bacteria, these little guys floating in your body, 80% of them live in your gut. Pretty wild, yeah? Okay, 7 seconds, the time it takes for food to get from your lips to your stomach. And did you guys know that digestion starts when we smell the food we're cooking and our amylase starts going and we smell that food and our mouth is starting to prepare and our digestive system is starting to prepare. And that's why they say to really be mindful about what you eat and to really take time to eat, because your body is doing its job in starting that digestion. So you guys can read some more of these later. Okay, this is where we get a little silly. I wanted to get silly with you guys in order to keep your attention and make this as approachable as possible. So my stepmom's mom lived to be 96 years old, and she was in relatively good health her whole life. Does anyone want to guess what she ate for breakfast every day? I have the answer written for you, so it's a little bit of a cheat, but what she ate every single day was sardines. Give me a thumbs up if you like sardines. Let's see if I can see your beautiful faces. You like sardines, Dad? I like Dana's face. That's awesome. That's cool. Okay. I got to be honest, guys. I've never even tried sardines. But what do sardines have to do with gut health? And why am I even bringing this up? So sardines what do they have to do with gut and brain health? Well, good question. And these tiny little fish are going to help us uncover a gold mine of gut health. So let's break this down. Okay. So on the screen in front of you, it shows you the many benefits of sardines, And we're going to break down each of these categories. So don't worry if you're not writing these down right now, you're also going to get the presentation, but that first one on the list is mercury. And so we're going to talk about how mercury ties into gut health, because you might not even think of mercury as something that ties into gut health, right? So there's your little mercury, your periodic table. We're going back to some science here. And why is this important? Depending on the type and amount, exposure to mercury can damage the nervous system, the kidneys, the liver, and the immune system. Breathing mercury vapors can harm the nervous system, lungs, and kidneys, and mercury vapors can pass easily from the lungs to the bloodstream. And why this is brought up is because sardines are low in mercury, so they're a safe food to eat. Mercury is contained in many products, including batteries, measuring devices such as thermometers and barometers, electric switches and relays, lamps, dental amalgam, your dental fillings, skin lightening products, other cosmetics, and pharmaceuticals. So you guys might have heard in the past 10 years or so, the popularity of people having their amalgams removed, yeah? Right? So people are now going to see biological dentists to get their amalgams removed, because look at what's happening in our bodies. It's messing with our guts. It's messing with our kidneys and our liver and our immune system. So we're not going to freak out. We're not going to freak out, because there is hope. But mercury in the body, no bueno. Okay. No bueno. So we're just going to be mindful of it. For the sake of time, I'm going to let you guys read these studies on your own. There's a Spanish study that was conducted over 2,000 years ago. There's a study that happened in Iraq. I'll let you guys read that. And then there's this cute graphic of this couple fighting. What is the safe level of mercury? And this pregnant woman in the back says, why risk the harm? So I'll let you read that on your own. The adverse effects of mercury, we've already talked about liver, kidneys. This graphic right here is a very technical way of showing what happens. See where it says Hg exposure. Hg is your mercury. Guess what, guys? It crosses over that bouncer barrier. It gets in and it causes all the damage to be done. So, okay. So what does this have to do with gut health? All right, so the study that you guys are going to read about later demonstrates the protective effects of L. brevis in response to mercury. So what is L. brevis? L. brevis is a form of probiotic. And now that we've learned a little bit about the toxic effects of mercury, what's one thing we can do to protect ourselves? So remember, I told you I'm going to give you hope. I'm going to tell you some of these things and I'm going to give us some hope. So there are probiotics with Lactobacillus brevis. Raise your hand or give me a thumbs up if you've heard of Lactobacillus brevis. All right, good. Howie has. So if you guys have checked the back of your probiotics, it's very possible that you've seen this word Lactobacillus brevis. This is a good probiotic for if we have some mercury happening in our lives. It's also an overall great probiotic to look for. A couple of brands I trust that have lactobacillus or probiotics in general are Nature's Sunshine, and you can see this picture below. I've taken probiotics from Young Living, which you might have heard as an essential oil company. Garden of Life is another one of my fave probiotics, and that's available at Whole Foods, Better Health, and Amazon. I can recommend and get you links to all of these probiotics, if you'd like me to. This probiotic 11 is just like it sounds. It has 11 strains of friendly bacteria to help support your microbiome. And then there's also a little code right here to get 25% off Nature's Sunshine. That's my own private code. That's a code they gave me that you guys can get 25% off. So I can share that with you at any point. It's a brand that I love and trust. Okay, so before I go into omega-3s, I just want to check in with you guys. Make sure I'm not missing anybody that tried to get in. I see one chat. Okay, we're good there. Everybody doing okay? Okay, good. Perfect. Okay. Onward and upward. Okay, so remember that the sardine is our mascot. The sardine is our mascot today. What else do sardines have? Sardines have omega-3s. What do omega-3s have to do with gut health? What the heck are omega-3s? This is what I took today. Let's see if I can get you to my screen. There we go. This is what I took today. It tastes so yummy. Your kids will love it. Barlean's Seriously Delicious plant-based omega-3, vegan, fruit flavor, 3 times absorption. So we'll talk about this in a minute, but I just started taking this and I'll tell you why. All right, so as we move on, omega-3s. Omega-3 fatty acids are a powerhouse to the body, and they play a key role in the structure of every single cell. They keep your heart, lungs, and blood vessels in tip-top shape. And on top of that, omega-3s give your body energy, and they are immune support. Here's something I didn't realize, and maybe I knew it, but I just didn't connect the dots. Your body does not make omega-3s on its own. Your body does not make omega-3s on its own. So you have to get them in your diet. So if there was one really important supplement for you to be taking, it's either omega-3 supplement or getting it through your diet, like our mascot, the sardines. There are 3 main kinds of omega-3 fatty acids. ALA, flaxseed, canola, perilla, walnuts, soy. EPA, which is salmon, tuna, sardines, mackerel, shellfish. DHA, which is trout, oysters, herring, clams, mussels. So if you're a vegetarian or you're vegan and you're hearing a lot of fish, don't worry. There are other ways to get it. Okay. We mentioned flaxseed, we mentioned walnuts, and then this is also vegan, that supplement that I showed you. The list of benefits of omega-3s is very long. So for the purpose of today's chat on gut health, let's focus just on 3 perks. Omega-3s have anti-inflammatory properties. We all want that, right? If you've got achy knees or achy joints, they guard against chronic disease such as rheumatoid arthritis and cancer. They aid digestion and autoimmune responses like ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease. Good for brain, right? We're talking about gut health, brain health. It's all connected. And preventing cognitive decline for disorders like dementia. Research on omega-3s for gut health is fairly new, but studies out there are promising. And then it kind of goes into another study, which for the sake of time, I'll save. You guys can go back and read that study of what people are finding. Basically, it boils down to a lack of diversity in your gut bacteria has been linked to stomach problems like IBS and colon cancer. And then you can see right here, Barlean's is what I recommended. This Barlean's is what I took today and I bought when I was at school. You can get this on Amazon. You can get this at Better Health. You can get this at Whole Foods. And they have all these different yummy flavors. And I'm even giving you a link. I will never try to push one brand on anybody or on you guys. There's a whole slew of brands that I really love, and this one I'm really liking. So you can also see that as we're chatting, I'm drinking kombucha. I love kombucha. Big fan of kombucha, and there's a plethora of varieties out there. Kombucha is something you guys can drink every day for gut health too. Doesn't tie into omega-3s, so that was a side note, but kombucha is really good. Okay. This fancy star looking thing is just another study, so we're not going to dive into that. It's in your packet. You can look at it later. Oh, we have somebody else joining us. I see Miss Laura joining us. Hi, Laura. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome. I'm just going to put you on mute. And can you see my screen okay?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. We're glad you're here. If you have any questions, please type them in the chat box or write them down and we'll get to them at the end, okay?
Okay.
Awesome. Okay. So the next category that ties into gut health, we've talked about keeping mercury out of our bodies. We've talked about omega-3s. Now we're going to dive into D3, vitamin D3. So a study done in 2020 was aimed to characterize changes in the gut vitamin D deficient females. Okay, so they did this study following 12 weeks of vitamin D supplementation. In addition, the study wanted to assess whether any characteristics of the gut microbiota were linked with the response to vitamin D supplementation. Here's what the researchers found. Vitamin D supplementation increased the overall diversity of the gut microbiota, and in particular, increased the relative abundance of bacteroidetes and decreased the relative abundance of firmicutes. Again, very big words, but here's what you need to know. The high ratio of the firmicutes and the bacteroidetes has been correlated with obesity and other diseases. So all of this talk about sardines, just in case sardines go extinct, see the list provided of any other ways you can get vitamin D3 in your diet. Okay, so in case you can't see my screen, how else can we get vitamin D? Mushrooms, vitamin D, fortified milk, including almond milk or orange juice has sometimes vitamin D. Just watch the sugar. Egg yolks are not the bad guy. Egg yolks are good for us, guys. Just don't eat a bucket of them, okay? Egg yolks are good for us. Spinach, tuna. Buy the good tuna. Check the can for the mercury level. Safe sun exposure. 10 minutes a day like this, guys, in the sun, muy bueno. Don't be afraid of the sun. Get that 10 minutes of vitamin D. And fatty fish like wild caught salmon, sardines, or herring. Okay, so there's this really cute video clip. I put it on here and you can click on it on your own time. Raise your hand if you have seen sunny with a chance or cloudy with a chance of meatballs. Cloudy with a chance. How about cloudy with a chance of meatballs too? Oh, girls and boys, girls and guys, oh, I like, there's that raised hand signal. Shirley knows how to use Zoom. I like that. So Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs is a kid's cartoon. And in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2, the sardine is the mascot. They talk all about sardines and it's the cutest thing. So this video clip right here, it's a 5-minute video clip and it'll make you giggle. It'll make you laugh. I really want to play it, but I don't want to lose our mojo. I don't want to lose our mojo. So play this cute little video clip on your own when you have this. And you guys can let me know later if you enjoyed it, because Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2 is a fantastic movie. Even if you don't have kids, go watch it. Okay, moving right along. If you remember back to the beginning of the presentation, we brought up sardines. Sardines are our mascot today. Why are sardines our mascot? They are our mascot because they are loaded with all of these really great things that we're talking about, including vitamin E. Okay, Alicia, what does vitamin D have to do with gut health? Vitamin E. Vitamin E is known for its antioxidant properties. So think of vitamin E as the helper for your microbiome. Okay, so don't we all need a helper? Benefits of vitamin E. Antioxidants, reduces risk factors for heart disease, boosts lung function, reduces menstrual cramps, protects against cognitive decline, reduces inflammation, improves immune function. Top foods with vitamin E. So guys, we need to be eating foods that are going to support our body functions, that are going to support the systems of our body. So please don't go eat fast food every day. Please don't get into the Halloween candy bucket every day. You know, it's okay to indulge, but this is what we want to be eating right here. Sunflower seeds, almonds, spinach, avocados, butternut squash, kiwi, broccoli, trout, shrimp, olive oil. And choose organic when you can. Choose organic when you can. Also, my comment about fast food and Halloween candy was not to shame you, because we live in a world where it's accessible. It's super easy to get that stuff. And I don't know if you guys have heard that in America, this is called the SAD diet. Standard American Diet. SAD. Standard American Diet is SAD. Makes us frown, because our body doesn't want it. Our body doesn't want the fast food and the candy. Our body wants this. We need our vitamin E. We need our omega-3s. So if we have a treat once in a while, okay. But for the most part, follow that 80-20 rule, okay? We have lots of people on this call that can help us with a healthy diet and can help us get recipes and ways to nourish our bodies. All right, moving right along. Number 5. So real quick, for those of you that thought we were going to jump on this call today and I was going to just go over the makeup of the gut and the breakdown of probiotics and prebiotics, I really hope that you're learning so much more outside of everything you hear about gut health. I really hope what you're learning today is that it's in everything we eat. It's in the systems of the body. It's how we start to go back to the root of the root, like the root of calcium and vitamin E and vitamin D. And it's not just in the probiotic that we take. So I really wanted to design this presentation to give you everything so you have a good basis to go off of. And even if you apply just one thing, even if you get off this call tonight and you say, I'm going to start on a good probiotic, or I'm going to incorporate more vitamin E into my diet, or I'm going to start eating sardines, just know that even starting small is the way to sustain, right? That's the way to, starting small is a great way to ensure success. Okay, so calcium. When calcium supply is sufficient, the absorption of vitamin D and its metabolites in the gut can maintain the homeostasis of intestinal flora, thus improving the calcium balance and promoting mineral deposition in the bone matrix. Woo, more big words. What does that mean? The link between the gut microbiome and bone health has begun to attract widespread interest. The gut microbiome are vital in many diseases involving bone loss. So, right, we get older, we get osteoporosis, things start to happen with our bones. Calcium is super important. Lots of us know that, right? But what do probiotics, prebiotics, and dietary supplements have to do with that? Well, they've been suggested to protect bone health by altering the composition of the gut microbiota. So on the screen before you, you see, or if you don't see, I'll read it. Prebiotics are non-digestible compounds in our foods that feed the healthy gut. So prebiotics feed the probiotics. Prebiotics feed a healthy gut. Foods containing prebiotics: oats, mushrooms, chicory, asparagus, garlic, leeks, onions, and Jerusalem artichokes. Raise your hand if you know what the heck a Jerusalem artichoke is. Nisha knows. I love that. I don't know if I've ever had a Jerusalem artichoke, but I really want to try one now. Okay, so probiotics are living microbes that when consumed may benefit our health. So some natural probiotics: yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha, miso, tempeh, pickled vegetables. So if you eat prebiotics that are going to feed the probiotics, you're going to have a healthy gut, right? So you walk away tonight with one thing you're going to do. Maybe this is it. Amen, sisters and brothers. This would be a really good place to start. I'm trying to remember how those tie into calcium, but I think we get there. Yeah, we're going to get there. We're going to talk a little bit more about calcium. After we talk a little bit more about calcium, I'm going to open it up to some questions. And I would say we're a little over halfway. Okay. All right, cool. So page 15, studying the relationship between the gut microbiome and bone health can provide a basis for the prevention and treatment of bone diseases. The image below focuses on the link between the gut microbiome and bone diseases, exploring current knowledge of the mechanisms by which gut bacteria affect bone health. Okay, so if you can see this, probiotics and prebiotics and nutrients and phytoestrogens enter the large intestines, which in turn support the immune system, the endocrine system, the metabolism, the epithelial barrier, which is the gut permeability, and nutrient absorption, which then prevent osteoporosis, gout, RA, and a host of other bone diseases. So do you see how that all ties together? Probiotics, prebiotics, the nutrients we put in our body, and phytoestrogens in the large intestine prevent immune system diseases. They support endocrine, they support metabolism, in turn, helping us to not get these bone diseases. Yeah, pretty cool, right? So another reason that we want a healthy gut and why we want to eat our calcium to support our gut. I'm going to zoom in on this really quick. Zoom in 150. There we go. Look at all these yummy calcium foods. I'll zoom in one more time. View, zoom. There we go. Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. Okay. Broccoli, pumpkin seeds, bok choy, okra, collards, kale, turnip greens, avocado, butternut squash, almonds, green beans, coconut, kohlrabi, Brazil nuts, artichokes, chia seeds, sesame seeds, Brussels sprouts, asparagus, spinach, cabbage, mulberries, celery, onions, and gooseberries. You guys are all going to get this presentation. So if you're feverishly writing, you're all going to get this. But think about it. If we ate all these yummy foods for us every day, how much healthier we would be. Okay, so I am going to stop sharing my screen for 1 second. I'm going to go to questions. Okay. All right, so going to the questions, I'm going to read the chat first. Jerusalem artichoke is also more commonly known as sunchoke. Am I saying that right? Sunchoke? I didn't know that. That's very cool. All right, I don't see any questions in the chat. I only saw that comment. So if anyone has a question, do you guys does someone want to jump in and ask a question right now? And no worries if you don't have a question. I just thought we would open it up.
I'm not sure if it's a question.
Okay, tell us.
So, I mean, I've been debating whether or not to try to consume some more probiotics, prebiotics. But all of those things are like all the pickled things. So like, I don't, my stomach doesn't like them.
Okay.
My stomach doesn't like any of those things. So it ends up giving me like almost like an acid reflux type thing anytime I have any of that. And so I'm like, what are my other options other than like pickled things or kombucha? Like the bubbliness of the kombucha, I like it, but my stomach doesn't like it. And I can't drink a whole bottle. I can like take a couple sips maybe every couple days.
Yeah. Okay, so right out of the gate, my initial thought is you need prebiotics to help support the probiotics going into your body. That's like my initial thought. The other thing is maybe you're not a kombucha girl. Maybe the bubbliness of the kombucha isn't for you. Maybe the spiciness of the kimchi isn't for you. So maybe it would be more from like a really good yogurt or a really good kefir.
Because I try to stick to like plant-based things. So I haven't been doing, been doing yogurt or dairy products. Like the most dairy I have Ripple creamer that I put in my coffee, and that's about it.
So maybe for you then, Dana, maybe finding a probiotic that works well with your system would be the way to go. You know, maybe start there. I talked to a mom at the school that I go to, and she told me that the probiotic she was taking made her really gassy. Mm-hmm. And I said, then that probiotic probably isn't right for you. It might mean you need to kind of trial and error on which probiotics you take. We're actually going to get into a section into this presentation that you can test your body for which probiotics work best for you. So that might be a good option for you, Dana. And that's not a for sure answer. That's just kind of brainstorming. Does anybody else have any thoughts on Dana's question? We had one thought come in, Dana, that you may be able to dilute kombucha with water prior to drinking. Could try that. You could make your own. Miso is easy to drink as tea. That's another suggestion. Miso is easy to drink as tea, so that could be a good thing. Look at this village. I love it.
I have a comment.
Yeah, tell us, Howie.
Okay, my experience with probiotics really has to do with my wife, who you knew, Susie, who, of course, had major heart disease and took about 15 drugs a day, which destroyed a lot of her normal flora in her digestive system. So I got probiotics for her, and I really didn't know of any scientific way of knowing which was best other than the ones that covered the most are what I bought for her. But it seems that I couldn't find any standardization of testing to know how much you need or what combination she would need. It turned out that we got a pretty good balance, and she definitely needed the probiotics because of all the medication she was taking and what it was doing to her, the normal flora in her digestive system. But I think one thing that's lacking, to my knowledge, is a standardization of knowing how much to take. And other things like For example, I take vitamin D3, which you brought up, but I don't know how much to take. 2,000, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. Again, I don't find any way of standardizing to find out what amounts of these things to take. So that's kind of the problem that I have with those things.
100%. And I again, I don't have a set answer right out of the gate for you, but I do think that it does depend on your body weight. It does depend on the foods that you're eating. It does depend on how much, if you live in California or Florida and you're in the sun all year round, you're probably getting more vitamin D than Howie, what you and I are getting living in Michigan, right? So it's really not a one size fits all answer. But
Right.
I do think that like my hope in going to this school and my hope in presenting this information like we're doing tonight is that now offline, Howie, I can work with you, or Dana, I could work with you, or whoever, and I could say, okay, tell me your concerns and let's find out. Let's start with 50 billion probiotics, right? You and I decide together. That seems like a good place to start, 50 billion, because you haven't been taking any. And you see how that feels in your body. And if you start to notice it's not causing an upset tummy, you don't have diarrhea, you start to notice you have more energy, your immune system is boosted, then maybe we know that was a good amount for you. If you're not noticing those things, then I feel like probiotics, in my experience, are a little trial and error. And one thing I learned at school that I can share with you all, and I didn't know this before, but I know this now, is that it's a really good idea to change the kind of probiotics you take on a monthly or quarterly basis. So I'm a creature of habit. I was taking 100 billion probiotics. I found this brand that I really love. I was taking a month after month, and that's great. And it was helping me, but it actually would have been better to diversify my microbiome with different kinds of probiotics. Does that make sense? So just like you diversify your portfolio, I know I'm speaking your language when I say that. We diversify, we diversify our microbiome, which in turn will create a more, our body will have a better chance at absorbing nutrients and creating those bouncers of our cells. So with someone like you, Howie, I think it would be great to just start off with 20 to 50 billion. Let's get you on a really good, solid probiotic and see how it feels. You can't go wrong. There's no like, you shouldn't take this kind of probiotic that I know about. Unless somebody like Susie with heart disease, it counteracted with some of her medications, but I haven't heard anything about that happening. So it really is a case by case basis. And we are going to talk about later in the presentation how you can test your poop and your microbiome. They do now have tests where you can test to see what kind would be best for your body. So that may be helpful for you too, Dana.
That sounds like the beginning of an answer to what my question was to begin with.
Yeah.
By testing
Poop.
to see what poop, to see what's best.
Yeah. So really quick too, and then we'll jump back into the presentation. I heard about a study at school. You guys might have heard about this study. I'm not going to use the right technical term, but for lack of a better way to say it, a poop transplant, a fecal transplant. They did a fecal transplant of a very unhealthy human, and the feces, the microbiome of a very healthy human, and they did a fecal transplant, and the health of this person improved exponentially just by swapping out their microbiomes. Fascinating. So there's something there for sure.
Okay.
I see some other comments. It looks like you guys are helping each other. I love this. Yogurt and mango blended for a tasty prebiotic probiotic blend. Kefir milk, kefir water. Try to search for a water kefir. Okay, perfect. I love you guys for helping each other. Okay, back to screen sharing. Hold your questions, write them down, use them in the chat, and we will come back. Sound good? All right, so let's all mute. Y'all can mute. That would be great. Perfect. Okay, so now you can see my screen again. View. Let's zoom in. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Okay. All right. You guys can hear me? Thumbs up. Okay. Number 6, selenium. So going back to our mascot, the cute little, oh my gosh, who's our mascot? The cute little fish. Selenium, he has selenium, and selenium ties into gut health as well. So selenium protects the lining of our gut and enhances our gut's response to inflammation. If our body is lacking selenium, we'll notice a heightened stress response and increased inflammatory level. Sources of selenium for the immune system and for gut health: eggs, hemp seeds, sunflower seeds, pecans, Brazil nuts, cashew nuts, flaxseed, chia seeds. So for all of you vegans and vegetarians out there, this list is a gold mine. Functions of selenium. What does selenium do in the body? It protects our cells against damage from free radicals, supports our immune system, grows and keeps healthy muscles, supports our thyroid, super important, that butterfly looking system in your body, and then supports our reproduction. Fun facts about selenium, Brazil nuts, and soil. Okay, so the presence of selenium-rich soil is not uniform in the world, but some countries such as Egypt, China, India, Norway, and the US stand out among the others. Additionally, some plants are more capable of retaining selenium. For example, Brazil nuts, a typical tree of the northern region of Brazil. Selenium is an organic form, or SEMet is an organic form of selenium. So why I brought this up is because there's a lot of talk now about the soil, right? About the soil that our plants are grown in, our food is grown in. If that soil is contaminated, we talk a lot about GMOs, we talk a lot about organic. And I wanted to bring up this fun fact about selenium, Brazil nuts, and soil, just so that you start to think about where your food comes from, okay? And start to pay attention to maybe if you're going to start growing your own food, the soil that it grows in, or if you are buying food at the grocery store, just to start to think about where it comes from. Okay, on to number 7 for our magnificent gut health, CoQ10. Thumbs up if you've heard of CoQ10. Some of you, okay. So the addition of CoQ10 protection can improve the intestinal flora and increase the beneficial intestinal bacteria, such as, okay, here's another big word for you guys that you can look for on your probiotic bottles, Enterobacteriaceae. I am probably not even saying that right. We'll call it Gamma Pro, Enterobacteriaceae, and Protobacteria. So some big fancy probiotic words. CoQ10 is a congenital antioxidant that has many different biological effects, such as enhancing immunity, free radical scavenging, and DNA protection. Okay, so let's say you were depleted in CoQ10. What might that look like? Depression, irregular heart rate, fatigue, elevated blood pressure, muscle aches, balance issues like vertigo. And there's evidence that CoQ10 deficiency is associated with certain cancers, such as breast cancer. A survey showed that CoQ10 plays an important role in the development, prevention, and treatment of breast cancer. Your body produces CoQ10 naturally. I love this fact because remember, what we don't produce naturally is those omega-3s. So this is good to know that your body does produce CoQ10, but its production tends to decrease with age. So fortunately, we can get CoQ10 through supplements. We can get it through soybeans, broccoli. I feel like broccoli is on like every list. Apparently, we need to just live on broccoli. Peanuts, fatty fish like sardines and oranges. Benefits of CoQ10, cardiovascular health, increases fertility in both men and women, supports cellular energy, essential for those taking statins, increases healthy HDL levels, which HDL is cholesterol, right? And lung health, especially in COPD and asthma. Thinking of you on this call. Yes. All right. Number 8, RNA, DNA, and gut health. What the heck does DNA, RNA have to do with gut health? Nucleic acids are chains of nucleotides that are a vital part of all living beings. The 2 most common types of nucleic acid are deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, right? DNA, and ribonucleic acid, RNA, which provide the genetic information for all your cells. If you are like most people, you may have never considered that nucleic acid content of your food. Yet, several health benefits are associated with nucleic acids, including a stronger immune system, improved digestion, and quicker muscle recovery. I love that. We haven't mentioned anything about muscle recovery yet. I see somebody just joined us. Hi to whoever joined us.
Hi, it's Katie.
Hi, Katie. Welcome.
Thank
So if you are on your phone, I'm sharing my screen. If you can't see the screen, you can just listen to me talk, whatever works for you. If you have questions, please put them in the chat or write them down and we'll answer them after, okay?
Okay, sounds
Thanks,
good.
sister. Okay, so foods rich in nucleic acids. Salmon, sardines. That's why sardines are our mascot tonight, right? Herring, oysters. Again, I'm going to be the first to say I can't eat oysters. I've never eaten sardines, but I might give it a try after the lecture tonight because they're so darn good for us. I love salmon. I eat salmon all the time. For you vegetarians and vegans, foods rich in nucleic acids include soybeans, lentils, lima beans, cashews, spinach, leeks, cauliflower, Chinese cabbage, celery, onions, scallions, beets, asparagus, avocados, mushrooms, and organ meats, which might make some of you cringe, but organ meats like beef heart or chicken liver, eggs, wheat germ, bran, oats, and chlorella, which I think chlorella is a type of chlorophyll. I'm pretty sure. Somebody could probably tell me on that one. So, all right, going back, number 8, DNA, RNA, and gut health. So talking about nucleic acids as they tie into gut health. Most of us know, okay, guys, this is where we're going to get into the specific test for our own microbiome, okay? I have not tried this yet, but we're going to be scientists together tonight. Most of us know that DNA is our genetic blueprint and that DNA tells us what genes we have. But there is no way to examine what genes are being used and how frequently without monitoring RNA. And if you guys remember, RNA is our messenger, right? The messengers of our body. By assessing RNA, we have a window into what's happening inside of us right now at a molecular level. When it comes to analyzing our gut microbiome, assessing the RNA produced by our gut microbes is super important. DNA does not discriminate between living and dead organisms. It's simply there. Without assessing gene expression, your results may show an inaccurate depiction of who is living inside your gut. By sequencing RNA and assessing gene expression, we're able to see who is alive in our gut and what they're doing. Companies like Viome are now offering gut intelligent tests to look at the activity of your microbiome and make recommendations based on your individual needs. An integrative functional health score determines your food and supplement recommendations and focuses on optimizing digestion, food absorption, richness, and diversity. So there's a picture on your screen. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And if you can't see it, don't worry. This presentation will be in your inbox. And it shows you these little boxes: biome, gut intelligence, and biome health intelligence. So the gut microbiome is a stool test. And then there's also a more complex one, which is a blood test and a stool test. And you mail it into this company and they give you a gut health snapshot. You can download the app and come up with a nutrition plan specific to your body, a snapshot measuring your cellular and microbiome health, more precise food and supplement recommendations, detailed food and supplement recommendations, and a gut health score, 30 cellular, mitochondrial, and gut health insight scores. And this is a quote from the company Viome: "Making changes to your diet to improve your health is a tricky task. If you're trying to incorporate nutritional recommendations that aren't specific to you, optimizing your health may seem a lot like you're feeling around in the dark. Instead, it's important to understand that what's happening inside of you is completely unique to you. The activities of your gut microbes and state of the gut ecosystem require individual insight." Okay, so years ago, when I was presented with the information that my gut was unhealthy, and I went to go see a naturopath doctor, the recommendation was, he handed me a sheet of paper and he said, "It's going to be $4,000 and I can fix you," quote unquote, right? I can help you. And that turned me off right away because I went, I don't want to pay you $4,000. I don't even know what you're going to do for me. And I want to research a lot of this on my own. I want to come to conclusions and answers on my own. And I want to study all of these things. And it just felt very overwhelming and very daunting. And at the time, I don't even think Viome was around. If it was around, I didn't know about it. So I did a lot of my own research. I did the 23andMe DNA test. And through the 23andMe DNA test, I was able to take the raw data of that and plug it into something called geneticgenie.com. And from there, it gave me a printout of all my raw data, a printout of my genetic makeup and some diseases that maybe I was predisposed to. Again, hours of research, months of research on my own. So now they have this thing called Viome, and I'm actually really interested in doing it. It's very appealing to me, but it might not be for you. You might look at this presentation tonight and say, "You know what, Allie? You know what, Alicia? I'm just going to start with a probiotic. I'm going to see how it feels." And if that's right to you, that's right for you. But if you want to really dive into this and get more optimization, then maybe Viome is for you. So the point of this presentation is not to say I am recommending Viome because I've never done Viome myself, but I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool to send your stool in and have somebody analyze it and tell you specifically maybe some things that are in your gut, some things you could be eating. Has anybody out there done Viome? You can come off mute to tell us if you've done Viome. Okay. All right. And we can talk at the end of this presentation, we can talk more about it if you want. Like maybe it could even be something we could do together and we could compare answers. But this just to kind of give you an idea of where we are headed with science. Okay, nothing in the chat. Okay, so if you have questions about Viome, write them down. If you have questions about what I just said, write them down. I'm going to move on. We're almost at the end, guys. We're almost at the end of all these different factors that tie into gut health. Number 9 is minerals. And this is really important. they're all really important, but minerals is super important. Your body uses minerals for many different jobs, including keeping your bones, muscles, heart, and brain working properly. Minerals are also important for making enzymes and hormones. There are two kinds of minerals, macro minerals and trace minerals. All right, I am going to, can you guys all make sure you're muting, please? Here we go, perfect. There, perfect. Okay, so two kinds of minerals, macro minerals and trace minerals. You need large amounts of macro minerals. They include calcium, we talked about, phosphorus, magnesium, sodium, potassium, chloride, and sulfur. You only need small amounts of trace minerals, iron, manganese, copper, iodine, zinc, cobalt, fluoride, and selenium. So let's break down just a few minerals to give you an idea of how important they are. Okay, zinc helps maintain the structure of cell membranes and proteins and has anti-inflammatory effects. Zinc activates a protein called collagenase, which allows cells to remodel collagen during wound healing. Zinc supplementation has been shown to reduce gut barrier permeability. The earliest signs of zinc deficiency is usually patches of dry skin. Evidence suggests that supplemental zinc may reduce acne in some cases, and it's even been shown to be effective as tetracycline antibiotics. Fascinating. This may be because it helps regulate sebum production in the sebaceous glands. The best sources of zinc are liver, kidneys, beef, lamb, and shellfish. Plant foods like nuts and pumpkin seeds are high in zinc, but it's less bioavailable due to high levels of phytates and bind the zinc. You can also supplement with zinc. Magnesium, the magnificent magnesium. I have really loved magnesium the past couple of years. I've really gotten into it. Magnesium is a cofactor for more than 300 enzymes, including many involved in the production of cellular energy. Magnesium is important for maintaining normal gut barrier function, and deficiency of magnesium has been shown to alter the gut microbiota and lead to depressive-like behavior. Magnesium can also help with gut motility and bowel regularity. Topically applied magnesium salts have been shown to accelerate skin barrier recovery. Good sources of magnesium include almonds, cashews, spinach, avocados, bananas, salmon, and halibut. Magnesium content is heavily dependent on soil. There's that soil word again. Soil concentration of magnesium, and most people will not be able to get enough through food alone. The recommendation is supplementing with 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate daily. Potassium. We're just covering just a few minerals. Potassium is an essential electrolyte in the body and the major positively charged ion in the intracellular space. Potassium therefore helps control the volume of cells and helps the skin stay moisturized. It also helps the skin produce new skin cells. Deficiency in potassium can lead to dry skin and hair loss. Fruits and veggies are good sources of potassium. Potassium is highest in potatoes, sweet potatoes, plantains, squash, mushrooms, tomatoes, bananas, and avocados. Some fish such as halibut and salmon. The average American consumes less than half of the estimated potassium intake of our hunter-gatherer ancestors. It is not recommended to supplement with potassium. And I think this is kind of, where we get a little confused, right? Where we kind of go like, wait, I'm supposed to supplement this and I'm not supposed to supplement that, and I'm supposed to do this and I'm supposed to do that. And it just gets so confusing. We throw in the towel and we pour a glass of red wine and we grab our cheeseburger and we sit on the couch and we go, screw it. But I'm going to remind you to start small. If anything I said tonight resonated with you, go, okay, I'm going to start. It sounds like magnesium might be a really good thing for me. It sounds like vitamin D might be a really good thing for me. Don't get frustrated. Start small. Call me, email me and we will work through it together. That is why I'm in this field now. I am super passionate about it and I want to help you. So location of mineral absorption, this is important too. If you look at this picture, there's different parts of our bodies that absorb the minerals. So magnesium is absorbed in the duodenum, the jejunum, and the ileum, aka fancy way of saying our intestines. So it all depends on the makeup of your body too. Like if you have a really healthy gut, you might be absorbing minerals better than if you have an imbalanced gut, right? That would be your takeaway. Gut health equals stress management, mental and emotional health, diet, huge plays into this. Sleep and exercise, we need to be sleeping and adding movement to our days. Genetics and immunity ties into this, and the microbiome, huge, huge, huge. And so I wrote this out and I've said it, but I'll leave you with this. I sincerely hope that you learned a lot today. If all this leaves you feeling overwhelmed, know this. Eating a diet rich in organic, non-GMO veggies, fruits, and fish, if you do eat fish, will support brain and gut health. Eat the rainbow that God has given us. Real food comes from the earth, and even better, you can grow it yourself. Start small. Pick one thing from this presentation that resonated with you and run with it. See how you feel with one small change and adapt from there. The biggest improvements with health have nothing to do with the scale or counting calories. It's how you feel. And since gut health is connected to brain and every other part of the body, shouldn't we be taking care of it? And this little last picture here reminds us that gut health is tied to clearer skin, reduced seasonal allergies, lower risk of disease, improved cognitive function, improved absorption of nutrients, less anxiety, less depression, less food sensitivity, better energy, stronger immune system, reduced inflammation and pain, hormone balance, and better moods. Holy shit. Who wants all of that? I do. I want all of that. There's a recipe for a sardine mash pot, since we now know sardines are so good for us. I think the only way I could probably eat a sardine is if I mixed it with some avocados and lemon juice and cloves. So there's this fun little recipe in here. There's a slide for gut health in children, which I just kind of threw in there. That could be a whole nother topic. And then everything we talked about today has a source so that you guys know I didn't just pull all this out of my ass. So that's the presentation on paper. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to go to your beautiful faces. I can't believe we did that in an hour and 10 minutes. That was a lot of info. I'm going to go to the chat. And I don't see any questions in the chat, but I want to know what you guys wrote down. Who wants to start first with a question or a comment or any sort of takeaway?
Well, I didn't know about the probiotic, prebiotic balance requirements.
Yeah,
You know,
it's a good
I knew
one.
about, somewhat about probiotics, somewhat about prebiotics, but the balance you need.
The
And
balance.
I didn't know about the bone health
Mm.
from it also that you talked about. So that was interesting.
And what are you doing for bone health? How are you getting calcium in your body?
For bone health, I wonder, calcium. I quit drinking milk and I don't like to do dairy products, but I know I'm getting calcium from some vegetables.
Right.
And I take a multi with some calcium in it. Walking exercise for bone health, things like that. So,
No,
I
that's
take,
good.
I take a lot of supplements. So,
For those of you that don't know, this is my dad.
hi, everybody.
That's my dad. Dad, I'm the same way. I actually probably need to start taking more calcium. I don't drink dairy or milk. It doesn't agree with me and I don't care for the taste. I do almond milk, and I actually would love to start making my own almond milk when I can, but Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, starting with those prebiotics to feed the probiotics might be a great place for you to, like, if you did the one thing jumping off of this call. And
Yeah, I'm
I'll
gonna start,
oh, sorry, I'll remind you guys too, prebiotics are oats, mushrooms, chicory, asparagus, garlic, which we love garlic, don't we? Leeks, onions, and then those Jerusalem artichokes. Cool. Thanks, Dad. Anything else?
garlic extract. I take that because I know I don't eat enough garlic in my food. I assume it's probably not as good as pure garlic, but I think kyolic garlic. You think that
Hmm.
would be sufficient for garlic?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sounds good.
yeah.
And turmeric. I know you take turmeric for inflammation.
Take quite a bit of turmeric, yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Helps the joints.
Yep.
Yeah, everything, yeah. Mental, cognitive, that sort of thing,
Mhm.
I think.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that.
I always wonder if I take all these things, I think they're helping me. Then I think, well, if I didn't take any of them, how would I feel? I think they're doing me good. That's,
Mhm.
the combination. So, yeah.
I think it is a little for all of us. I think it, a lot of it's trial and error. A lot of it is like, I know when I came off of turmeric, like I'll just tell you from personal experience, I was taking turmeric capsules for inflammation. And when I came off of them, I totally noticed a difference. But it wasn't until I came off of them that I noticed the difference. But that may be
Right.
different for each person on this call, you know?
Yeah.
This omega-3, I know omega-3s are good for me and I know I should be taking them, but it's too soon for me to say if I really notice that much of a difference, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that my intestines are functioning much at a healthier level with probiotics. I'm more regular. My mood is better. My anxiety is better. My skin is better. And I can only speak from personal experience. And it was trial and error. Howard brought up, how do I know which one? It was trial and error over the years, but I was really happy to learn that you should be changing out your probiotics monthly or bi-monthly or 3 times 4 times a year. Change them out and swap up that diversity in your gut. Cool. Other questions?
What stage are you at as far as your education and your career? Where you're going with your education right now?
Thank you for asking that. So it's a 4-year program. It's a 4-year in-person program, which means that once a month I drive to Mount Pleasant and I spend 30 hours in the classroom learning, and I'm just soaking it up like a sponge. I'm just loving it, loving it, loving it. I'm only on month 2 of a 4-year program, and I'm already, you can tell, I have so much I want to share. I was a little nervous. I'm very honest and transparent, so I'll share this. I was a little nervous about how soon I could share what I'm learning. And I even brought it up at school and I said, can I not share this until after year 4? And every single professor said, 100% without a shadow of a doubt, start sharing now. The world needs to know how we can heal our body naturally. The world needs to know. We need to spread this like wildfire. So every single one of you on this call can now take this information and go help a loved one. And that's the point, is that these are natural ways to heal the body, right? Now, after 4 years, I have to do a certain number of hours of clinic work, a certain number of hours of hands-on. In fact, I have 6 hands-on things I have to do in October before I go back to school, which I was going to tell you guys about in case anybody wants to volunteer. If I graduate from the program after year 4, I will have my ND, which is a naturopathic doctorate.
I am 100% sure that you're going to graduate and be very successful.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. And I feel like it is definitely my purpose. This is what I want to be doing. So I want to inspire every single one of you, no matter your age, no matter where you're at in life, no matter your career. If there is something that sets your soul on fire, go for it. Do it right now. It's never too late. Super important. Thanks, Howie.
Thanks. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Enjoy. Yeah.
We had a question come through in the chat. One thing, it's a comment. One thing I want to mention from personal experience is when introducing a new food, try a spoonful and not a full portion. Also, it takes time for supplementation and vitamins to take effect, so don't be discouraged. It's not a question, but a statement. So true. Cool. Howie, did you have any questions or was that it? We can't hear you. Sorry, you're on mute still.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, we got you.
I think you are off to a great start. I know you as a person, and I know you're going to be successful in what you do. You're very dynamic and intelligent, and when you put your mind to do something, you do it. And you're very humane and kind, and you have all the attributes to be very successful, Alicia. You know that.
You're going to come see me when I'm Dr. Long?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Well, I did not pay Howard to say that, you guys, just so you know. I did not pay him to say that.
Well, I hope I live that long because I'm 82.
Okay, but you're 82. Tell everybody what you do every day. Please tell everybody what you do every day.
Well, I run 3 miles every day. And when I recently did a 5K at, I did 2 of them, one at U of M and one at, I ran the D in Detroit. And I was the only one over 80 who was running.
So
I
incredible.
I came in first
Woo!
for my age.
That's so cool. Well, you are an inspiration to all of us. It's incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're an inspiration to me.
Thank you. Right back at you, brother.
Yeah.
Right back at you. All right. Other questions? We're at 8:30. So it wasn't too long. We did pretty good. Any other questions you guys have? Okay. Well, if you think of one, pop on, unmute yourself. Jump in at any point. I'm going to mail this all to you. I think I have all of your email addresses. So if you think I don't have your email address, shoot it over to me and I'll send it to you. Feel free to share this with family and friends. This isn't like top secret information that you can't share. You're welcome. I'm getting some comments in the chat. You're very welcome. Okay, so here's what I was going to tell you guys. I have to present on a topic in October. So because you guys attended tonight, I wanted to ask you what you'd like to see me present on. And then the second part of that is I have to partner up with 3 people and have a discussion about EMFs, which is electromagnetic fields, which come from our cell phones, our Wi-Fi. We're inundated with all this electrical field all around us. And I have to have a chat with 3 people about how much you're exposed to and come up with a plan for you to help you ground yourself a little bit more. And then I also have to test the pH and urine of 3 people and come up with a plan to show you how alkaline and how acidic your body is. So when I say clinic, these are the types of things I have to do every single month. And I would be so honored if you guys would jump on with me every month and do these chats on different topics. So you're the first to know kind of what's up and coming. I already see some volunteers for EMFs. I love that. Any topics you guys want to see me discuss in October, November, December?
Are you requesting topics?
Sure. Throw it out there, girl.
I don't know. I have to think on that for a minute.
Yeah, you can get back to me. You can get back to me. My studies have been biology and anatomy, and next month is nutrition. And then I go into iridology, which is studying the eyes, reflexology. And guess what I'll need for reflexology? I'll need some massage volunteers. So Dana, you'll have to fly in.
I'll be there in November for a weekend.
Yay! Okay, there you go. You can come in November. But you guys don't have to answer right away. If you think of a topic you want me to cover, just throw it out. And this will be ongoing for 4 years. So
I have one that might be interesting only because I did it here. It's called NAET, so Natural Elimination Allergy Testing.
okay. And
Um,
oh, goodness.
Yeah, and so I went through a whole process with I'm gonna call them a physician out here.
Uh-huh.
But they actually have like a giant center somewhere in Birmingham, I think, in Michigan.
Oh, cool.
But I had a severe intolerance to garlic.
Oh.
And so I went and started doing their process. And I still avoid it because I don't feel great when I eat it, but at least it used to like put me in fetal position. If I had anything with garlic in it, and that means like garlic powder in a seasoning, like a premix, I couldn't have it.
Wow.
And it would like put me in fetal position and like knock me out for hours. So I can at least now have it and it won't kill me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, NAET, I got it down. I'm gonna look into it.
Yeah.
I have a
Like
suggestion for
something you might
topic.
be interested in just researching a little.
Heck yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I think I heard another one.
Yeah, I had one suggestion. I've seen a lot of different waters that talk about the pH level, like on the water bottles, and I don't really know anything about that.
Okay. Yeah, we briefly covered that in class, but that would be an excellent topic. I know that Zac Efron, did you see Zac Efron's special on water?
No.
Plus, he's not that bad to look at, so I recommend. I recommend it.
There's like a water bar here somewhere in LA. I have to go to it now that I've seen that. I'm like, I have to go check this out.
Yeah. I think so. Look up the Zac Efron special. Just Google Zac Efron special on pH. And then I think they also covered it on Gwyneth Paltrow's The Goop. The Goop is another show. But Nisha, I love that idea of me doing a talk like this on water, especially since I'm focused on pH and alkalinity right now. That's a really great idea. Thank you. Cool. All right.
Well, I have to go now, Alicia, but I want
Yeah.
to thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. You're
And I-
welcome.
I enjoyed watching it, and I think you did a really great presentation. And
Thank
good luck.
Oh, thank you. I'm open to all feedback. I appreciate you guys so much. You have an awesome, awesome rest of your night and weekend. I appreciate you guys being here.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you
Love
guys later. Thank you.
Thank you, Alicia.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.